Good evening, everyone. I want you all to listen to this, and I'll read. We don't support Nigeria breakup. Unity sacrosanct. I repeat, we don't support Nigeria breakup. Unity sacrosanct. Northern leaders want Trump. A company of Northern leaders held a meeting, and they have issued a very stern warning to Donald Trump, telling him that they do not support Nigeria breakup and that unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct. I watched them on TV reading the communique, and then I quizzed myself a few questions. And what were the questions I asked myself? The political leaders of Benue State, Plateau State, and Southern Kaduna, all of the other states whose terrain, geographical space, have been under attack for quite a long time. People whose states have been bleeding for quite a long time. Part of the meeting is the Benue State governor part of the meeting. Is the Plateau State governor part of the meeting? What about the Southern Kaduna political leaders? Are they all part of that same meeting? Because I do not think that if I have to be the governor of my state, knowing what has been happening for quite a long time to my people, I will be able to sit down in such a gathering with such a people to discuss the unity of Nigeria. Unity on what basis? I want to let you know that there are only three things involved here. Firstly, is that they want this unity in order for them to advance their selfishness that is predicated on incurable greed. I repeat, they want this unity in order for them to advance their selfishness that is predicated on incurable greed. When I mean greed to the highest level that has no parallel anywhere. Evil greed, everything you can think of. That's the reason why they want the so-called contraption to exist as one. That even if we are dying, they are orchestrating killings upon killings, we have to remain one as one entity. And yet nothing is done. Nobody is arrested. Nobody is punished for anything. The government, nothing is happening in order to stem the tide of the incessant killings of human beings in that country called Nigeria. A zoo, for that matter. Number two reason, I would say they are very hyper apprehensive. They are now very hyper apprehensive, if I can say that. You know what I mean? Because they are now seeing the handwriting now on the wall, and I appreciate it. If any of you think that Nigeria is going to survive it, it is not. Because I've been following what is happening in the US, and I can see that the congressmen in the United States of America are now speaking about Biafra, are now turning their eyes in the dimension of what is happening in the zoo, particularly in the eastern part of the zoo. For the moment, they have now turned their eyes to the cries, to the problems, bedeviling that region of the contraption we call Nigeria, at least for now that we are all lumped in together. You see, number three, I also let you know that on account of what Trump had done just, about 3 or 4 weeks now, they are now also hyper exasperated. I repeat, they are hyper exasperated. Why? Because America has delved in, at least to support, to say, look, we can stem the tide, of this nonsense. We do not want this rubbish to happen. That is the reason why now, having seen the handwriting on the wall, the way things are going, they have come to the realization that the only way they can remain relevant in everything now is to still see how, let us be one Nigeria, let us be this. No, it can never work. We are saying it can never work. It can never work. You want a one Nigeria in order for you to advance, your incurable greed. to perpetrate the heinous crime, the atrocities we have been seeing and we've been speaking about for a very long time. And I want to let a few people know about the misconception of Sharia. I've always said it clearly, and I've argued with a whole lot of the Muslim brethren that if there is actually Sharia, there's sincerity, of Sharia in the so-called North, the northern region would have been the most progressive, the richest region in the whole of Nigeria, if not Africa. There is nothing like Sharia in the North. That's a fact about it. You see, they are just lying, pretending. If there is Sharia, who are the highest thieves, criminals in government? And what does Sharia say about people like that? If there is Sharia entrenched in the North, will such people exist? They cannot. They cannot. I'm telling you authoritative. I'm telling you categorically. There is nothing like Sharia. If there is Sharia, none of them who are the highest criminals in government. In 2015, I wrote it quite clearly, very boldly. I told the late President Buhari, I said, if you're actually sincere, President, if you're actually sincere, publish all the names of all the criminals in Nigeria, irrespective of wherever they come from. Publish all their names. Let us see the highest criminals in government. You see, and I tell you clearly here, today, fact check it, and I'm ready for anything. The northern Muslim politicians and the Yorubas are the highest thieves in government. They're the highest embezzlers, looters of the government treasury in that zoo you call Nigeria. That was why it's like Buhari saw it clearly and he couldn't do it again. That was the same Buhari was telling you. They were even singing in the North that as soon as he comes into power, all the corrupt politicians will run away. They will run away. Sugudu. A lot of you are aware of that song. When Buhari came in, he even rather entrenched tribalism, nepotism, corruption to the core. He took it to the highest level, contrary to his promises, or contrary to what people had thought was going to happen if he takes over the mantle of leadership in that zoo you call Nigeria. You see, so now I've been asking myself, I do not know how people like the governor of Benue State, Plateau, Southern Kaduna, and the rest, whose states have been bleeding for a long time, would sit down and still be discussing the unity of Nigeria. That the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct. Sacrosanct, my foot. My foot. I can't sit down with hypocrites and be discussing issues. What I'm saying here is not that it's about hate or no hate. I am just saying the reality. I just wanted to let you to know this about me. I acknowledge the facts. It's a fact that there are good and bad people everywhere, all over the world, and everywhere. And if you're a good person, you would think there are no bad people in the world. If you're a bad person, you would think that there are no good people in the world. That is just how it is. Our people have a saying that the person who had cut someone with a machete before will not allow someone to pass behind him with a machete. Where am I heading to here? I do not harbor hate against anybody. I'm a thoroughbred humanist who want to see a decent society where people live like human beings, think like human beings, where people do not have to fear anything from me. If religion cannot make you a better person, to better the society, to liberate people, to free people from bondage, you see, from criminality, from everything evil, then if any religion wants to make you a bad person, then it is not worth to be called a religion. For me, as far as I'm concerned as an individual, I deal with people on the basis of the quality of their personality, not on the basis of religion or region, of tongue or tribe. That is just me. I'm saying it again, that I deal with people not on the basis of their tongue or tribe, religion or region, but on the basis of the quality of their personality. A good person is a good person, a bad person is a bad person. All this issue that because of the unity of Nigeria is gone, is dead. Get it clearly, it's not going to survive it. It's gone and it's gone. That's the fact about it. We cannot endure